time for the biggest sports stories.
It's Neymar trying to feed it through. It's a stretch and it's in. And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Extraordinary scenes.
The biggest interviews.
It's more difficult. Obviously, it's more difficult.
And all the analysis right here.
If they play poorly, they come back, they've got all the excuses. You can't have it both ways.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.
It's Top Hit Tuesday, meaning that we'll give you all the top stories out of the world of sport and also give you all the top hits that are topping the charts globally right here on ZiFM Sport. We give you this effort every single weekday right here on ZiFM Stereo, my station, your station. The team is in the studio to deliver a crackerjack show, especially after the great showing that was given by the Chevrons. Alice Bunjira, Chris Gray is in the house today, and of course me, Barry Manandi. Behind the desk is Sean Tafirenyika, who will be taking us through today's show, and it promises to be epic. What's on the show, Chris?
We start off on the home front in cricket. The Zimbabwe Chevrons beat Afghanistan by just 2 runs in a thrilling contest at Queen's Sports Club for an epic Group B victory in the ICC Cricket World Cup qualifier. In tennis, International Tennis Federation Under-18 tournament got underway in Bulawayo yesterday, with a number of local players making it to the second round of the competition. And in football, Harare City have set themselves an ambitious target of finishing in the top 8 this season after the side received a kiss of life from the Premier Soccer League to revive their romance with the top flight.
Now we'll then dive into our international sports news roundup, where we've got our Formula One report. This being a Tuesday, it is a staple of our Tuesday show. And today, Lewis Hamilton may be 4-time world champion, but he is still keen to prove he is the best driver in Formula One on a level playing field. In tennis news, Serena Williams, friend of the show, favorite friend of the show, and still says she frequently wondered how she would keep going after returning to the practice courts following the birth of her first child. And in boxing news, Saul Canelo Alvarez has returned a positive sample for trace levels of clenbuterol ahead of his rematch with Triple G, Gennady Golovkin.
We end off with a beautiful game in the Premier League. Jose Mourinho was relieved Manchester United were not made to rue what he called a disgraceful childish defending as they secured a dramatic 3-2 win at Crystal Palace from 2-0 down. In Serie A, the Italian summer transfer window will close on the 18th of August this year, one day before the start of the Serie A season. And UEFA Champions League action, Paris Saint-Germain coach Unai Emery has hailed tonight's Champions League round of 16 leg against Real Madrid as a unique moment for the club and for French football.
As you know, the ZiFM sports team is dressed by Adidas, and we are proud to say that. And there is a sale not to be missed happening out at Sam Levy's Village, courtesy of Ideal Range Adidas Concept Store in the Village and the Village Walk. There are soccer boots, rugby boots, all gym kit is available, and there are selected items in the sale that go down as far as 60%. So make sure you get down to those stores, either the one in the Village Walk or the one right at the Village on the back end there where Fruit and Veg City is, and you'll find it there. You'll be able to get some of that merch for for under 60%.
The Warriors, the Chevrons, the Cheetahs, the Mighty Warriors, and the Sables. From the pool to the track to the field, we are Team Zimbabwe. The Home Front. Local sports news and analysis.
As we played that Team Zimbabwe sting, we all gave a standing salute to the Chevrons because they certainly deserve it. They made it squeaky bum time, but they managed to get over the line in the end. Let's catch you up if you don't know what we are talking about. In cricket news, a match that swung one way and then the other several times boiled down to an incredibly tense finish in Bulawayo, where Afghanistan's last wicket slowly wheatled away at the target set by Zimbabwe. The Zadrans, that Dowlat and Shapur, had added 17 in 8.1 overs for the final wicket, bringing the equation down to 3 needed or 4 balls. But the half hour spell of unbearable tension finally ended in joy for Zimbabwe as Brian Vittori drew the edge from Shapur and wicketkeeper Brendan Taylor, BT, took the cash to seal the 2-run victory. Yes, you heard me right, 2-run victory. Let's run you through the tale of the tape. Zimbabwe batting first, putting up a paltry total of 196. It hardly seemed adequate, but good performance and knocks from Brendan Taylor with 89 and Sikandar Razabat, Mr. Consistency with 60 runs. Mujib taking 3 for 49 and Rashid doing damage at 3 for 38. And then Afghanistan in response only managing to amass 194 in response. Shah with 69, Nabi with 51, Muzarabani, blessing Muzarabani taking 4 for 47 and Sikandar Razabat, like we continue to say, Mr. Consistency, 3 for 40. Zimbabwe beating Afghanistan, of course, by those 2 runs. What a match.
You say we give them their salute and that's fine, but I'm a little angry.
Okay, why?
They literally gave the entire country a heart attack.
Yeah.
Everyone has their heart in their mouths waiting to see what's going to happen. And look, Afghanistan is only ranked 1 above us. We should have cleared this much better than we did.
No, Afghanistan also, I think in context, remember Afghanistan did the business on us when we were on that away tour. And 4-1 we were beaten in that series. So everybody expected that, listen, it's going to be Afghanistan at a doddle. Especially when Zimbabwe posted 196. It was hardly a total that you could defend, especially on a track that usually gives runs like at Queens. We thought to ourselves, Afghanistan at a canter. My goodness, the boys bowled well.
Yeah, I think we did well with our bowling team, but our batting team, we still need to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, and when you read out the scorecard right now, and you did it. We need to. The listeners need to know the 0 boys. They need to know those boys who are always getting us zeros. Why jump them? We need to know them. Very please go ahead. Let us know who got 0.
Okay, I'm just opening the scorecard here.
Please.
But, Chris, just running through, you talked about the heart attack that we got from the boys, and that
It started with those guys.
It certainly did, and listen,
Yeah.
it wasn't good enough from our batting lineup.
It wasn't.
Isn't it a question here that our batting coach certainly needs some questions asked of him, because that seems to be where we are lacking every single
bowling,
time.
That's definitely true.
bowling,
And you know what? The only thing that carried us through this time, I would say, maybe home ground advantage. That's the only thing that we had against Afghanistan. Our batting completely weak, and like
Very
Aloy
weak.
said, maybe we should name and shame.
We will name and shame.
Not really
And,
shaming them.
just-
No, it's too harsh. But we need to
name and
know
shame.
them.
Okay, just looking at the scorecard, up front we didn't perform very well at all. The boys who gave us a nice platform against Nepal, that's Solomon Mire and Sifas Joao. Solomon Mire with 4, Sifas Joao out for a duck after facing just 1 ball. And then we go down the card. Hamilton Masakadza scoring 3. Like we said, the resistance came from Sikandar Raza and Brendan Taylor with those good knocks of theirs of
those are good,
89 and 60. Craig Irvine with 13. Graham Creamer, Captain Creamer with 19. And then it was a disaster. The tail didn't wag at all.
It was a disaster.
Malcolm Walla with 3 facing 7 balls. Tendai Chatara faced 2 balls, 0. Brian Vittori, 2 balls, 0. Blessing Muzarabani facing only 1 ball and
0.
scoring 0. So those guys, then listen, when your tail doesn't wag, you're not sort of giving yourself a platform from which to work. However, I must, in mitigation, the Chevron certainly put a fight on when they needed to, because they had no right to defend a total of 196.
Trust me, believe you me, when they posted that, I posted on my Facebook page, and I actually said chevrons were common. You know, because that total didn't seem to be enough.
Okay.
You know, but then when we went on, I think the middle order for Afghanistan, they let them down as well, because they started well. You know, they started on a very stable run.
Yeah.
Then they just went out. Then that's when we actually started saying, you know what, we can actually defend this. You know, then it went to that heart attack phase.
Yeah, Afghanistan were actually 156 for 3 at one point.
Yes, at that time it was like, are we out?
That just completely let them down.
Their middle order didn't feature, and also whenever your middle order doesn't fire, that means that you've got no platform upon which to.
Yeah.
The thing is that the start for them was critical, and I think the start for Zimbabwe, if we want to look at it from a positive perspective for Zimbabwe, because you look at it, Mohamed Shahzad out for 24, Isnalu only 1 run scored off facing 9 balls, and that's at the top of their order. They needed to set that foundation, and we talked about it yesterday. When your top order fires, what it does is it releases the middle order to then be able to play with expression, to express themselves, and that didn't happen for Afghanistan. I suspect that Afghanistan at the moment is a bit like India. They're struggling outside of the subcontinent conditions, and we've taken advantage of that. The good thing,
just like Chris said, we home ground advantage carried us home.
The good thing is that the Chevrons have taken advantage of that home ground advantage. Now, here's the thing. Get in touch with us. 0731 168 045. That's 0731 168 045. Let us know your thoughts on the performance by our Chevrons, setting themselves a nice platform to qualify as top of Group B, because remember, Afghanistan have lost to Scotland, have lost to Zimbabwe. Now Zimbabwe 2 wins on the spin. It's now between a straight shootout between Zimbabwe and Scotland. That match is going to be the determiner as to who qualifies as top of the group. And qualifying top of the group will ensure that we have a fairly easy run-in in the Super 6 and give ourselves a chance of qualifying for the World Cup proper.
Hi Zimbabwe, I'm Adlai Zirek, Cape United captain and the Warriors defender. You're listening to ZiFM Sport.
In your local sports roundup today, in tennis, the International Tennis Federation Under-18 tournament got underway in Bulawayo yesterday with a number of local players making it to the second round of the competition. So the tournament is scheduled to run until Saturday at the Bulawayo Country Club. 69 players from Botswana, South Africa, United States of America, Australia, Greece, India and Zimbabwe competing in the prestigious boys and girls junior competition. Tournament director Cliff Nokwara was impressed with the turnout. In football, Harare City have set themselves a rather ambitious target to finish in the top 8 this season after they received a kiss of life from the Premier Soccer League to revive their romance with the top flight. The Premier Soccer League are set to release the fixtures today ahead of their 17th of March kickoff. Sunshine Boys suffered a shock relegation last year, but their return to the top flight was confirmed at the PSL's annual general meeting at the weekend. Still in some pre-season, Caps United might have lost 2 of their pre-season tournament matches against rivals Dynamos and Highlanders, results that didn't go down well with the club's supporters, but their head coach Lloyd Chitembwe is not worried. Chitembwe believes his squad is good enough to reclaim the Premier Soccer League title that was wrestled away from them by FC Platinum last season. Now, just a quick one on our very ambitious Sunshine Boys. Last week, they were talking about, our focus is development and we're fine even if we're in Division 1. This week, they want a top 8 finish. Yeah. Do you think they can pull this off, or will they sprain a muscle with all that reaching?
The truth is that the top 8 finish was always their goal. I mean, we know that they were fishing around for a franchise to buy. They've been given now, and I like the way you put it, the kiss of life by the Premier Soccer League. So they've gone in on a free back into the Premier League without necessarily doing anything. Now they're not going to waste it. And also, you look at the team that they've assembled, and I say team not more from a perspective of the playing staff, but the technical department. You look at Mark Harrison, the 2 Marks, Mark and Mark Associates. Mark Harrison and Mark Mate, those 2 are great footballing minds, and you got to think to yourself, with the playing staff that they've retained. We talked about Tendai Samanja. I fully expect him to retain the club captaincy, and then you've got players like Martin Vengisai still playing for the team. That Arsenal is good enough for them to get a top 8 finish, and who knows, if they get the rub of the green, maybe even higher.
Yeah, for me, when I look at it, top 8 finish is not like being ambitious. They have to. Yeah. With the resources that they've got, with the technical team that they've got right now, with the team that they've got, the players, that is, I think top 8 should be. They should. It was actually a calamity for them to be relegated in the first place. Right. Was just, I don't know, it was just a disaster. Yeah. They need to put their house in order. Maybe it was because of the in-house squabbles in their management. I'm actually also happy that they didn't come back via spending money. They didn't buy the franchise, because you know what it was going to cost. Yeah. It was going to be a lot of noise off the field, which was going to affect the team as well. But because they didn't spend money, I think there is a little bit of calmness and let the coaches do their jobs, and top 8 is a must.
Okay, and Caps United, some people calling this an old people's home. Chitembwe needs to do better. Alois, what do you think of their chances in the league this season?
It's not really an old people's home. If you look at the average age, I can put it at 28, 29. Yep. For me, I think it's prime. It's actually prime. It's no, Lloyd Chitembwe is a coach that thrives on experienced players. He doesn't really want to be chasing around a small boy who's making silly mistakes and all that. He prefers to be calm because I think he knows the kind of person he himself is, and he doesn't want to stress himself and to explode with the youngsters that carry on making childish mistakes and all that. He prefers to deal with experienced players that will do exactly what he wants. And
can we stick on that, because it's the same, it's a different side of the same coin.
Yeah.
Because yes, experienced players are going to give you and do what they need to do because they're experienced professionals. But at the same time, when you then put them relative to the rest of the league, when you look at the rivals around them, and I say rivals around them tongue in cheek, because we expect that these are the teams that are going to challenge your Caps, your Highlanders of this world, your Dynamos of this world. Those teams have got young teams that are running out in this current season. You put them against a team that's 28, 29 average age versus 23, 24, you think to yourself, possibly the one that's got the younger players, the keener players, the players who are more malleable, and with the coaches who want to try things, have probably got enough in the arsenal. Yes, Caps is not going to struggle with relegation. Caps is not going to be fighting for a top 8 finish, but possibly it could be top 4 because you're competing against much younger squads.
But you know what my worry is with that, and we do this every season. The focus is on the current team, the senior players. We do it in cricket as well, and we're not doing anything for the people on the come up. So 3-4 seasons from now, where's Caps United going to be with Highlanders who have decided to go back to their junior policy? Dynamos employing a lot younger players as well. So in terms of a long-term approach, does Lloyd Chitembe's approach work?
Yeah, I was gonna go there. You know, remember that Cape United, this is the team that actually did well in the Champions League.
Right.
My problem and my problem now comes with Chris's question.
Yeah.
Where to?
Yeah.
In 2-3 years' time. Now the other clubs have now gone back and started adopting the junior development structures. Look at Highlanders now. Cape United, will they be competing against Highlanders in a year or two? I don't really think that they will. For now, they are living like each day as it comes. But for me, I don't support that kind of philosophy. I would love a situation whereby you have your senior team, but you keep on youngsters coming through, you know, having a balance. But now when Highlanders start doing this, FC Platinum start doing this, Dynamo start doing this, they'll run out of players to sign. You're gonna be behind the 8 ball.
Let us know your thoughts. 0731168045. Remember, later on in the show we got a Champions League report, and today it's a special one because we are going to be linking up with Mike Madoda in England, finding out his thoughts across the channel in Paris. It's Paris Saint-Germain. They're behind the 8 ball, 3-1 against Real Madrid. Can they do the business? We'll hear his thoughts on that one. And then in England, Liverpool, they're calling it a dead rubber, but is it a dead rubber? Porto 5-0 down. They may just come back. Miracles do happen. As the Chevrons did. I got a dirty eye from our producer Sean. And then straight after the break, we're going to be talking Formula 1.
Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it.
International Sports News Roundup, where the world comes out to play. From sunny Melbourne to the streets of Monaco, the deserts of Bahrain to the jungles of Brazil, get up to speed on the Formula 1 report.
Every single Tuesday, if you tune in and you are a petrol head, you will be excited because you get the Formula 1 report right here on ZiFM Sport. Now, Lewis Hamilton may be a 4-time world champion, but he is still keen to prove he is the best driver in Formula 1 on a level playing field. Hamilton returned to action in pre-season testing this week, setting the fastest time of test on Thursday afternoon in his new Mercedes W09. His team is expected to continue its 4-year reign at the top of the sport this season, but is facing increasing competition from rivals Ferrari and Red Bull after both closed the gap in performance to Mercedes last year. But rather than see a return to the domination Mercedes enjoyed between 2014 and 2016, Hamilton hopes there's nothing to choose between the two top teams this year. Let's hear from the Mercedes driver.
I've just been saying reminiscing with Aldo, just that this is my 6th season with the team, and it's kind of crazy to think that it's been that long, but also seeing the development the car each year. You know, this is the most exciting part of the year, obviously, till this point, to see the whole car come together. I have seen the development of the car for the last 8 months or so, and then just to see all the pieces come together, and it's a work of art, and it is really just incredible to see. I'm always in awe of the team, because there's so many people obviously in the team, so many moving parts, and to see them all come together and bring in their genius, and then all of that just it piles into this beautifully sculpted car is amazing. And then there's only 2 of us that get to drive it, you know, in the whole year. So it's such a unique privilege to have.
All right, I want to put my hand up here, guys. Lewis Hamilton, I always just think you're overhyped. He's got a good car. You know, what do you expect? If you put me behind the wheel, I'll also win championships, but, you know, the boy's got something.
Okay, so last 3 world championships, but still, he's just a guy with a car.
No.
Really,
That's where I'm putting my hand up. I have to testify that the boy is special. He's got something about him. And listen, there may be better drivers. You know, your Fernando Alonso's of this world. You give them a good car as well, they might be able to. But you still have to do the business. And Lewis Hamilton has done it, and consistently so. However, going into this season, I think Mercedes, yes, have a good car already for setting fast times out in Catalonia. But you think to yourself that the way that Ferrari has come up in leaps and bounds, Red Bull with their new partnership with Aston Martin, it's going to be a lot closer this season.
Yeah, and quite some interesting developments in the testing that happened today. A lot better weather for them today. So Sebastian Vettel quickest ahead of Valtteri Bottas on the opening morning of the final preseason test, but McLaren's reliability issues returned and they were limited to just 7 laps. Right. Vettel hoped topped the timesheet on medium tyres to be 0.2 of a second clear of Bottas, whose best lap came on soft at the lunch break. Max Verstappen, though, only 0.005 of a second further back on the medium tyre, suggesting Red Bull will be able to make it a 3-way fight in a Formula One, and that's going to be interesting. Max is probably the youngest of these drivers, and it's going to be interesting to see what he can do this season.
He's the bright young hope, and last season, the whole season, we kept talking about the fact that Max Verstappen, you give him a better car, you can see that the boy has got something about him, and now he's got an Aston Martin power plant. They've given him a decent vehicle this time. He's got to prove it now, doesn't he?
Yeah, now he has to show us what he can do, and he has got a lot of he needs to show the world that sometimes it's about the car. Like he needs to prove prove you right.
Yeah, give me a good car and I can do the business.
Yeah.
Well, it all gets underway on the 25th of March in Australia with the Australian Grand Prix. The Melbourne Grand Prix circuit is where we will be. We're going to preview it for you, and we'll give you the results right here on ZiFM Sport. Keep it Z.
ZiFM Stereo is untouchable.
Around the world in 60 seconds. International sports news.
We begin in South Africa, where reports indicate that Proteas wicket-keeper batsman Quinton de Kock was called a bush pig by the Australians. It was reported yesterday that personal insults were at the root of a row between de Kock and Australia's David Warner during tea break of the 4th day of the Test match in Durban. Over to the US, Serena Williams says she's frequently wondered how she would keep going after returning to the practice courts following the birth of her first child. 23 Grand Slam singles champion will return to the WTA Tour at Indian Wells in California this week. In an interview with BBC Sport, the 36-year-old says she's motivated by the thought of playing long enough for her 6-month daughter to have memories of her watching her. Staying in the US, though, but at the end of the happy spectrum, Canelo Alvarez has tested positive for trace levels of the performance-enhancing drugs salbutamol ahead of his 5th May bout with Gennady Golovkin. The boxer's promoters, Golden Boy Promotions, have announced Golden Boy have moved to attribute the result to a meat contamination with support from the lab that conducted these tests, and the Mexican fighter attended a voluntary drug test before his rematch with multiple world heavyweight champion Golovkin, which is scheduled to take place as planned. And news coming out of England, golf's governing bodies have admitted that the latest review of driving distance has produced unusual and concerning results. The RNA and the USGA have evaluated the distance on a data annual basis in 2015, and last year's report revealed an average increase of over 3 meters compared to 2016, a significant rise in the increase of meters per year since 2013.
Fan Zone. Get in touch with the team and have your say your way.
Operator.
All right, get in touch with us on the Fan Zone 0731168045. Don't forget, later on we got our Champions League report. We are going to be linking up with Mike Madoda in the UK, and we'll let you know what happened last night with Jose Mourinho's men. What an epic encounter. Went the right way for Man United. Crystal Palace gutting. 0731168045.
We start off with a little cheeky message. This one is from Leto in Bulawayo. Hansi Subgents. Can you please tell me what happened to Nathaniel Klein, Liverpool left back? I want the full story, short, simple, straight to the point.
Nice. Okay.
That demand.
That's a demand. Okay, we're here to serve and please.
Yeah, we're here for you.
What we can tell you is that Nathaniel Klein was injured. He is back in training now. He's in back full first team training. So any moment now he'll be available for selection, and I fully expect Jurgen Klopp to pick him momentarily.
Okay, and on the Chevrons, Hansi, the Chevrons won against Afghanistan, period. A lot of people are disappointed because the Chevrons won against prediction. That one is from Babavatino in Harare.
Yeah, a lot of predictions are predicted against the Chevrons' victory.
Yeah.
They went against form book on that one because Afghanistan Afghanistan was expected to pull the wool over us. We fought and managed to get
and
the
we
victory.
actually believed, everybody believed they were our greatest threat in the group.
That's
so
it,
now that we have beaten them, I think this paves the way for a smooth
it's a big confidence booster.
Yeah.
A message here from Absinius in Cheetown, and he says, or his explanation, Anzi, and another one, hashtag Chevrons must go and hashtag Wenger must go. Disappointed fan.
The Chevrons are disappointing, but we can only judge them on what they've done. And what they've done so far in the qualifiers, they've got 2 games, 2 victories. Thanks for
but let's be honest. You know, the way they held their nerves towards the end. You know, as much as we were about to have a heart attack, spare thought for themselves, the guys that were bowling. You know, you need to give it to them. Yeah. You know, they did their part, and to hold their nerve and manage to bowl out those Afghanistan. I think they deserve a pat on the back.
Yeah, they did well. They certainly did well.
And speaking of comebacks, Hansi, hi guys. The comeback from last night reminded me of Turin 99 after Antonio Conte HD scored in brass in the second leg UEFA semi-final. Tonight, PSG 2, Roma 0. Glory Man United. That being said, that's done. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Master Zimbabwe out.
There we go. Yeah,
that game we spoke about it yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, last night after the show.
That Turin match.
The Roy Keane
match. Yes, that was the Roy Keane moment. You know, that match I'll never forget.
And the sports team is dressed by Adidas, and you can catch the sale that's taking place at the Ideal Range Adidas Concept Store. That's at Sam Levy's Village and the Village Walk. Like we said earlier, soccer boots, rugby boots, gym kit, casual wear, street wear, whatever it is that you want to get, that's got the 3 stripes. You can get it at those stores. Selected items of up to 60% in discounts.
Celebrate the woman.
I am a woman.
I am blessed.
I am loved. I have enough strength to carry a nation on my shoulders.
I am a sister, an aunt, a friend.
I love to bring hope.
I am delicate.
I am
a woman.
I love to love.
I define dignity, I pronounce grace, and I give strength its meaning.
Smash that glass ceiling.
Hashtag press for progress. It's Women's History Month. Celebrate with ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station. Superwoman. Connect with ZiFM Stereo via Facebook on facebook.com/ZiFM Stereo.
The big leagues, the big teams, the big players. The beautiful game on ZiFM Sport.
The beautiful game, the Premier League. Jose Mourinho was relieved Manchester United were not made to rue what he called disgraceful, childish defending as they secured a dramatic 3-2 win at Crystal Palace from 2-0 down. Andros Townsend gave Palace an early lead thanks to a deflected strike, but their second, just after halftime, raised serious concerns of Mourinho. Jeffrey Schlupp took a quick free kick just inside the United half and played a ball in behind the defense for Patrick Van Aanholt, who ran clean through and smashed past David De Gea at the near post. But United fought back thanks to goals from Chris Smalling, Romelu Lukaku and Nemanja Matic, and with the latter's stunning strike from 30 yards coming in stoppage time, a goal that can win any match. And although Mourinho was ultimately upbeat at full time, he was not impressed with his team's defensive focus.
We started bad once more, not pressing the ball and not pressing the opponent and giving the opponent too much space. And they start the game with some dominancy, and then they score the goal. And in the second half, when we are all expecting the direct comeback, we concede that goal. That is a good goal to show the kids in the academies around the country, to see that top teams and top players, they can concede silly goals. But then the attitude was fantastic, the intensity, the quality, the dynamic, the risk. And then obviously you need that little bit of luck to win in the last minutes. But I think I would say we deserve, because the dominancy in that last half an hour was huge.
Result aside, this was a phenomenal football match. It was very enjoyable, end-to-end stuff, and the fact that Manchester United forgot to defend at times actually made it exciting, because Crystal Palace managed to get those 2 goals.
That's true, and you can hear from Jose Mourinho, he's a bit of a nutter about his defense. Look, I watched the first goal and I went to bed because I just couldn't take it. This is a bit like the chevrons, so I didn't watch the rest of it, but just that first goal was easy. I think it was easy for them to get it in.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been as hard as it was for Manchester United. They made it hard, but then you got to show the temperament of being the big team that you are, and they certainly did that, especially with that Matic goal. My goodness, what a stunner. Yeah,
I think, defensively they were very poor. They gave away 2 easy goals for me. But then when you look at the way they came back, they showed pedigree. They showed that they can do. They can catch up with Manchester City, but they showed credentials to fight for that second position.
We go over to Italy. The Italian summer transfer window will close on the 18th of August, my birthday this year, one day before the start of the Serie A season. The decision to shut the window early follows the example of the English Premier League, whose clubs decided in September to bring the transfer deadline forward to Thursday, the 9th of August this summer, before the season gets underway. So Serie A's extraordinary commissioner, Giovanni Malago, also said that the winter transfer window will end before the championship resumed on the 20th of January following their winter break. Malago revealed that the league will schedule features on December 26th and would stage 2 rounds of matches between Christmas and New Year, again following the Premier League model. However, there will then be a 3-week winter break in Italian top flight. Do you guys think this is going to affect the game in any way?
No, I don't think it will, but I think what we're heading towards is a harmonization of systems across Europe. And I think it makes sense. Listen, you can't have a situation whereby a player can move in Italy while the window is shut in another country. You've got to say that, right? If it's open for everybody. Once it closes, it closes for everyone.
It has to be systematic for the whole of Europe. Otherwise, we start having chaos.
All right, let's go into the Champions League report, shall we, guys?
This is ZiFM Stereo.
Champions League nights are back, and like we said, we're linking up with Mike Madura momentarily, but Paris Saint-Germain coach Unai Emery has hailed tonight's Champions League round of 16 second leg against Real Madrid as a unique moment for the club and the French football. The Ligue 1 leaders trail 3-1 from the first leg and will be without Neymar because of injury at the Parc des Princes, but Emery still believes that it is a great opportunity for his team. Angel Di Maria is likely to replace the injured Neymar as PSG look to overturn the deficit in their Champions League Lot 16 second leg against Real Madrid. Neymar had an operation on Saturday in Belo Horizonte on a small fracture to a metatarsal in his right foot and is now recovering with the aim of being back towards the end of the season. Di Maria is likely to start for PSG against his former club alongside Kylian Mbappe and Edinson Cavani in a front three at the Parc des Princes. They are down 3-1. Shucks, but Unai Emery and PSG still believe they're in this tie, don't they, Bunch?
Yeah, they can believe, but I don't think they've got a chance. If you ask me, without Neymar, maybe it's because the only reason I have got a soft spot for PSG is because of Neymar. So he's out, so I'm ruthless. I don't have any feeling for them, and I'm Real Madrid, and 3-1. It's not going to happen.
You think the tie
is over. It's done and dusted.
Let's find out the thoughts of a man who's languishing in the cold, and that is Mike Madwada. Mike, good evening to you, and welcome to ZiFM Sport. Let me say that because you've been away for so long, mate.
Yeah, good evening, Nash. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're good.
Mike, listen, we have brought in a lot of replacements for you, and they've done a good job. But the one thing that they're not replacing is your colourful pants. We miss you for your colourful pants, so we are certainly down in the glam stakes, mate. All right, mate, to the football. Champions League nights, you're very close to that action. Across the channel, there is an important match taking place in Paris. It's 3-1 to Real Madrid. Real Madrid fly in there expecting that the tie is over, according to Alice Bunjira, of course. But Unai Emery and his men believe that they can turn this around. 2-0 victory, and they win the tie. They progress, don't they?
Yeah, well, absolutely. That's the simple part, when you work out the permutations, but you still have to get out on the football field and play. And it's going to be very difficult for PSG. I think if you take a look at the two teams, Real Madrid has got more experience. They've been at this stage of the competition numerous times before. They've progressed at this stage. They know how to win this particular competition. They've got the motivation of going for a hat-trick of championships, which would be a record in the modern era. So there's plenty of motivation on the Real Madrid side, not to mention the fact that this is the only trophy that they can win. Barcelona has run away with La Liga. Barcelona is likely to win the Copa del Rey. So they'll look at themselves and say, hey, this is the cup competition that we have to win. And so you take a look at the match that's on tonight. I think a very interesting subplot, apart from what's going to happen on the field of play, is what happens off the field of play after this match. Regards the two managers. Here are two managers under pressure for differing reasons. Zinedine Zidane is under all sorts of pressure at Real Madrid. They are not used to dry seasons at Real Madrid, and they've had glorious season after season in recent years. And so he's under pressure. Unai Emery as well has got to justify whether he's the right man to be leading the multi-millionaires in Paris. And if he gets knocked out by Real Madrid at this stage, this is not what the PSG owners signed for.
So mate, the worst news that Unai Emery could have got is the news that Neymar wouldn't be available for the rest of the season, because that pressure just mounts the strength 10. But in Angel Di Maria, it's not a bad replacement, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not. They're not a one-man team. Make no mistake about it. This is a PSG side that we saw put Barcelona to the sword last time in Paris without Neymar, and with Barcelona having Neymar. Yes, they did fall in the second leg at the Camp Nou, but this is not a shabby PSG side, and they're certainly not built around Neymar. We need to dispel that myth. This is a team that can play well without Neymar. They've got tons of talent, tons of really, really good players. But the question is, can they step up now in a high-pressure, high-stakes game? And I love the noises that Danny Alves has been making. He's been talking about the fact that these are the type of matches where PSG has got to announce itself to the world.
Yeah.
You take a look at the teams that have really stood up and they sit at the top table of the European football. And I'm going to offend the Manchester United fans and say Liverpool are the most successful team in England. Why? Because of those glorious European nights at Anfield.
Right.
And that's what PSG has got to do this evening.
Got an opportunity
You've got
here.
to find your way back into the game, score early, win it anyhow. All the teams that have been successful in Europe, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, as well as, of course, Real Madrid, they have done it, and they have not always done it the easy way. PSG have a wonderful opportunity to make sure
you missed out Manchester United.
Bunj wants to have a word in there.
Mike, why didn't you include Manchester United on that list of teams that have done well in Europe?
I just decided to go with the ones that have won it 5 times.
All right, mate. Mike, can you stay on the line? We're going to talk Liverpool just now. That's also happening quite close to where you are. And then we can have a quick discussion as we wrap up the show. Chris, big game in Liverpool as well.
Big game in Liverpool, and Jurgen Klopp insists he'll only make 2 or 3 changes to Liverpool's side for their Champions League last 16-round second leg against Porto, despite the 5-0 advantage. So the Premier League club are in a strong position to reach the quarterfinal after their dominant performance in Portugal last month. But Klopp says they cannot afford to relax. Klopp says says he'll be making up 3 changes to the last 11, which beat Newcastle 2-0 on Saturday, with Manchester United up next at Old Trafford in the Premier League on Saturday. Now, no team has ever progressed to the next round following a 0-5 home defeat in the first leg of a Champions League knockout tie. Is this an easy game for Liverpool?
Mikey, I think that's directed at you, matey.
Well, listen, I think this one is all over bar the shouting, but I think its importance is, and so far as momentum is concerned, I think this match is more important to Liverpool in the Premier League as compared to the Champions League. And now let me explain.
Yep.
Right now at this stage of the season, it's all about momentum. It's all about building, win after win after win, and then winning becomes a habit. And that's what Jurgen Klopp has got to build towards. They've got a big game versus Manchester United at Old Trafford. You want to go into that game with confidence.
And that's why he doesn't want to make the changes, eh?
That's why he doesn't want to make the changes. These guys are being paid £150,000, £200,000 to pay, and I'm sure they can crack on playing 2 games a week or 3 games within 7 days. So I don't think fatigue factor is going to be any factor. Now, if you can't raise yourself up to perform at Old Trafford against the old enemy on Saturday, having played on a Tuesday night, then you really shouldn't be playing for Liverpool Football Club. So for Jurgen Klopp, it's all about momentum. It's all about making sure that Liverpool carries on the winning, because there are more important matches that are going to come during the month of March as well as April.
All right, mate. Sorry to cut you off there. We have to go. The time is up. Thanks for joining us and linking up with us. And listen, enjoy the cold. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. Hopefully, I understand you've got a bit of a cricket piece for us tomorrow. That should be exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm off to the home of Somerset County. I'll be out there, and of course, I'll be able to speak to you guys a bit later on.
Nice one, mate. Thanks for coming through. All right, Mike Madoda out in the United Kingdom, and we are out because we run out of time. We'll catch you tomorrow. May God richly bless you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Manandi, out.
Be sure to catch ZiFM Sport every weekday on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.